my name is Tracy Reed. I created a 6-week course. It's called Conscious Enlightenment. I've been teaching it now for a few years. And I wanted to go over today the first part of the course. I've broken it down into 3 segments: the box, the triangle, and the circle. And I wanted to explain the box today because I think it will help shed light on a little bit about what's going on in the world, like in a simplistic way. So with the box basically represents our social acceptance, our conditioning. It's the persona and the masks that we wear. It's our victimization, our emotional reaction. It's our groupthink, our limited perceptions, our repeated patterns, and then also the roles that we play. When we are in the box, we are basically wearing so many different masks that we don't know who we are. And so in the box, it creates a lot of worry and a lot of anxiety. There are 2 things though that help us get out of the box, and one of them is experiencing trauma. And then the other one is realizing what the box is and what it stands for. So when those 2 things happen, there's 3 things that we usually choose to do. The first one is we deny what happened to us or what we know to move back into the box. Because when we step outside of the box, the people that are still in the box, they start judging and criticizing and shaming because they don't like to be shown that there's anything different than the reality that they live in. And so they don't want people to be outside of the box. So if we don't like that feeling and we have emotional wounds from that type of stuff, then we will deny what we know or what has happened to us to move back into the box. Another thing that we will do is we will either turn towards drugs, alcohol, eating disorders. We do this because it numbs us, and then we don't really have to deal with anything. And then the third thing that we have a choice to do is to move into depression. Now, I know that we've been taught that depression is bad and that, we need medication for it and blah, 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 blah. But in this sense, depression is actually a good thing. Depression is the choice out of the 3 that we want to choose. Because depression is basically our rite of passage. When we move into depression, right, we are in this hole. And when we're in this hole, we basically have to figure out how to climb back out. And when we do that, we are building our self-esteem, and we need to build that self-esteem because when we move into the triangle, we're going to need that, because the triangle is all about doing the inner work. So if you've ever heard of the Dark Night of the Soul, this is basically where this process takes place, is within the depression process, before moving into the triangle. I wanted to kind of explain this first part because it really does shed light on what is happening today. There really is a great awakening going on. There are tons of people that are stepping outside of that box, and they may feel like, okay, what do I do now? Or, they want to deny what they're feeling so that they aren't being shamed and criticized. But I want you to know that there are so many people out there that have gone through this process, and so I don't want you to feel alone. If you do need to reach out, right? I can connect you with so many different people, for you to talk to. I can talk to you, you can take my class, whatever it may be, but I don't want you to feel like when you step outside of that box that you are alone, because you're not. If you have any questions, You can DM me, you can email me. I will provide all of my information for you. If you'd like to take the class, that's great. You can get a hold of me as well. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them. And I hope that this kind of explains a little bit, to you and what's going on. And if you want to learn more about, the next step, because we do in the class, we break this all down. It's way more detailed than just this, but we break this down, and then we will also break down what happens in the triangle and what happens in the circle. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And I hope that this, found you when you needed to be found.